Kia ora tātou. Can you all hear me? Okay. Tēnā koutou katoa. Kia rere tika ai te aiahi pōnei, me tīmata rā ki te karikia whakatūwhira. Kia karikia tātou. E te atua kaharawa, tēnei mātou tuku whakamoemiti, whakawhetai atu kia koe, mo manākitanga papai, kuhia mai ki runga i tēnā o tātou, o ti rā, ki runga hoki i tēnei kaupapa ko whakahuihui mai a tātou i te rānei. E pāe te matu ni te rangi, whakatata atu, kia rātou e noho pani pauaru rawa kore ana, rātou e noho māwiwi ana ki ngā whare hohipera, rātou e noho haumaru kore ana ki ngā tiriti pūkohu o pōneke, o ti rā rātou e noho wairangi ana, e whakatata ana ki ngā āhuatanga he whakaora anō i te tinana. E pāe matu ni te rangi. Tukuna atu tōri ngā tawhai kia rātou te hunga mate e whakatata ana ki tō uma piri ai. E pāe te matu ni te rangi, te akina hoki rātou e takahi ana te mata o te whenua, e hoki ana ki ngā marae kaianga, ki ngā pātū watawata. O ti rā ki ngā whānau whangātu ana kia rātou. E pāe te matu ni te rangi, whakatata mai kia tātou katoa te rānei, e noho haumaru ana i roto i tēnei whare whakaruru hau o pare mata, kia tutuki pai ai ngā kaupapa ko whakaritea nei e ngā upoko whakahaere. E pāe te matu ni te rangi, nau anō tō tama i hukrauti, tukoa mai ki tēnei ao kia muru te hara o te tangata e kino ana. Take no ki tēnā o tātou, o mātou e noho nei, āmuri ake ka hoki atu ki ngā whānau, hei te paupautanga, hei te tonga o tēnei kaupapa. Ka ino atu nei tēnei, kia koe i runga i te ingoa tō tama a hukrauti. Āmine. Kia ora no tātou. Ko aukati, ko whakakapia, ko whakaritea i au, te pōnei i runga anō i ngā karikia ki te rungarawa. O ti rā, kia tika ai te rere o tēnei o ngā kaupapa. Te take o tāku nei tū ki runga nei, ki runga ki te ātāmira, hei mihi, hei whakatau i a koutou, ngā tūmomo tari katoa, ngā upoko whakahaere, ngā minita o tēnā o ngā mahi, e tūhono ana ki ngā kaupapa āmuri nei ka rongo, ka mātaki, me kira i o kaimahi. Engari, kia pēnei hoki au, i aku nei mihi, me mihi hoki rā ka tika ki ngā mana whenua o konei, roto o te whanganui a tara, tīmata hoki rā kia ngai tara, kia Ngāti Ira, auheke mai kia te Atiawa, kia Ngāti Toa, me ki rā ahakoa, kāre pia he taringa Māori, he kanohi ora, hei whakakanohi i a rātou, me mihi hoki ka tika ki a rātou, ngā mana whenua o tēnei o ngā rohi. Ka huri anō, aku nei mihi ki te whare, tēnei whare. Me ōna āhuatanga katoa, ngā piki, ngā heke, ngā take kaupapa e ore nei i a New Tireni, o tira i Aotearoa Whānui. Nō nā tata nei, tūtū ai te puehu ki ngā arapiki nei, i runga anō i ngā kaupapa hei manaki, hei tiaki i a tātou i roto i tēnei o ngā wā mate uruta. O tira ahakoa e rā kaupapa, ko tāku nei mihi ki tēnei whare mo te pōnei, nāna anō i whakawātia mai he ātāmira mō ngā kaupapa huhua. Hei kaupapa whakahuihui i a tātou. Te pōnei ka kina ki ai te kai ki te kōrero a ngā rangatira. Ka huri anō aku mihi ki te hunga e mātaki mai ana e ringa i ngā rorohiko, kua hono mai a ipurangi nei, e runga i te link, a Zoom, a hara nei, nā runga anō i te kai ngākau ki ngā kaupapa. O ti rā, te whakahoho atu ki ngā hoa kei konei e kauhau ana i mua i a koutou te hunga whakamataku Engari, te hunga tautoko ko te kaupapa. He whakatau ki tēnei kei roto i taku nei whānau, o tira he whakatau ki tēnei hei whakamārama pia i tēnei o ngā huihuinga. Ko te whakatau ki tēnei a taku tīpuna, me whakahuihui a tātou kia whai kaupapa tonu. Anā ko whai wāhi tātou katoa ki roto ki tēnei o ngā huihuinga, ko whai wāhi katoa tātou ki roto ki ngā kaupapa huhua, āmuri nei, ka kite. Nā reira, are mai ngā taringa ki ngā kaupapa e whae ke nei, hei take huihui i a ngākau hihiko, i a whakaaro anamata. Āmuri nei, ka tīmata rā te pō ki ngā kai kōrero, māmuri nei hoki ngā kai whakahaere a Creative HQ e whakamārama ko ai a wai, he aha te aha, kia ai o tonu tā koutou nei noho ki roto i tēnei o ngā kaupapa, i roto i tēnei o ngā huihuinga. Kei te huri nei au ki ngā kanohi Māori, te rāpia he taringa Māori, nā reira tēnā koutou i ēnei o ngā kōrero, e mōhi o tonu au, e hara tēnei i te mana whenua o tira kia whakatutuki noa i ngā ahuatanga, i waiho mai e kui mai e koroma, ko te mihi ki te hunga ora. Tātou nei e pai nei. Me waiho ngā kōrero ki reira, ko oti taha ki te taha wairua, me ngā taha mihi ki te hunga ora, ka tukuna mā te kaupapa tātou, e whakanui. Nā reira, tēnā koutou, kia ora huihui mai tātou katoa. Kia ora.
Video first.
Creative HQ is about innovation, and the GovTech program is about innovation in the public sector.
This globally unique innovation program provides an opportunity for government agencies to tackle their urgent challenges by taking government teams outside of BAU through a 13-week creative innovation process.
The result of the process that gets applied during the program taps into new ways of solving some of these problems tried and true measures haven't solved before.
The problem teams are facing can't be solved in silos and always require some degree of collaboration.
We're so excited to have 8 teams from all across Aotearoa who are working to make a more culturally, socially, environmentally and economically sustainable New Zealand. The GovTech Accelerator supports these teams in a super unique way, from innovation coaches to leadership coaches to business case specialists to our kaiarahi.
The diversity of minds in the space working together at any one time. Innovators, creators, key policy leaders, people who are so passionate about creating a positive difference in the world.
What you have here is people who impressively are able to take themselves out of their normal environment. They're able to stand back a bit, see how the system's working, and are motivated to change it.
We absolutely need innovation to better inform the work that we do to create a better future for our tamariki and mokopuna.
Making change and impact feels really hard sometimes. So innovation is a great way of making progress and getting some momentum and making a difference quickly.
We support teams to ensure that they engage with users who experience the problem firsthand, ensuring that they're solving the root cause of the problem, gaining the requisite buy-in from the system players, and designing solutions that are fit for purpose.
Having the opportunity to hear from the public and really experience a problem from their perspective will fundamentally change the way I work as a public servant into the future.
There are a few things that will stay with me beyond the programme, certainly the new skills I've picked up, and I think it's the enduring friendships and working relationships that we've built up that will run way beyond the scope of the programme.
You've just got so much resource at your fingertips. With that excitement and energy that a 3-month time frame brings, it makes it a really magic experience to be a part of.
I think it's really important that we're constantly driving that sector to be positioning this country to be as successful as it possibly can be on the world stage.
It's not just about these 13 weeks. It's about upskilling participants, building confidence and leadership skills, entrenching client-centric design processes, and creating a movement of impactful innovation within the public sector.
Hello. Hello, and welcome to the New Zealand GovTech Demo Day 2021. Thank you, that was very well expected. Thank you all of us for joining us. Thank you all of you for joining me here this afternoon. And what a great day it's going to be. I am obviously your host for the evening and providing security where needed. I am Officer O'Leary. And I just want to let you know that this is, just so you can be rest assured, this is not the first time I have provided security in this venue. Last time I was here was about a month ago. I was helping with security for the Patent Attorneys Conference. Are there any patent attorneys out there before I make this joke? I can tell you that was an interesting, very engaging event to be part of, and I'm looking forward to this one, very much so. But anyway, when I've been in here for about 5 minutes, and just, minding my own business, making sure things were safe, no one was getting out of control, that kind of thing. But they were patent attorneys, so it wasn't likely. When I got a tap on the shoulder, and I turned around to see a very tall parliamentary security guard, and he said to me, with a serious look on his face, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Well, I'm providing security, obviously." He said, "You can't be here in that police uniform." I said, "Well, this is my uniform. What are you talking about?" He had the audacity to suggest that I wasn't a real police officer, which I found a little bit outrageous. I mean, maybe he was just jealous because he's in security and I'm in the real police. Anyway, he didn't really take my joking very well, and it had to go up to the Speaker of the House, Trevor Mallard, who got notified that I was in the building and whether it was safe for me to be here. Luckily, I used to play cricket with his daughter, and so he said, "I know O'Leary, she's fine, she can stay." So you can feel safe that I will have your best interests at heart, as long as no one gets out of control. We have an incredible lineup of pictures for you coming up, and you can trust me that you can trust me on that, because A, I'm a police officer, and B, I actually saw all of them before our rehearsal. They're all amazing, okay? But first, one of my favourite presentations, the one I love the most, and I know that most of you will love the most as well, and that's health and safety. So, welcome to the banquet hall. If there's a fire, should the fire alarm sound, please evacuate the venue via the same route you entered or via the nearest safest exit. Please follow the directions of security staff and fire wardens. The assembly point is outside at the Seddon statue, out on the front lawns just out there. Medical emergency, if you suffer one of these, please refrain from calling 111. It seems a bit odd. Oh no, inform the security or venue staff immediately and they will sort that out for you. So don't you worry about trying to ring 111 when you're having an emergency. Someone else will help you with that. In the event of an earthquake, obviously we want to drop, cover and hold until the shaking stops. And please keep away from the windows. It's going to be tricky in here. There's quite a few windows, they're quite large, but just maybe under the tables would be good for that. And please remain inside the venue and await instructions from the security staff. I'm sure you've been all given your visitor stickers. No, you've got lanyards instead, so we'll just leave that bit out. Toilets, if you do need to go to the toilet, please use the facilities. They're located over there through the glass door. Makes quite a loud bang, so if you're sneaking in when someone's doing their presentation, just maybe pull it to yourself, otherwise you'll be interrupting someone's presentation. Smoking, if you choose to smoke, I guess that's up to you, but you can't do it in here. You need to go far, far away, okay? And phones, please make sure you switch your mobile phones to silent, okay? We don't want any, there's always one person and you don't want that to be you. So make sure your phone is on silent, and please do not take photos anywhere outside of this room. So inside, snap away, but outside, no. And just to let you know as well, the parliamentary bells, Honourable Sir David Clark, sir, when do they go off? Do we know about that? They go off randomly, so there might be some random bell ringing, and you might think, oh, it's church, or you might think, oh, it's the carillon. But it's actually just Parliament doing something important, and it's not an emergency, so nobody needs to panic if we hear some bells ringing. Okay, now let's look at the programme ahead. We have a number of exciting and inspirational speakers, and then, of course, we have 8 absolutely stunning presentations and important presentations. Now, after you've been wowed by the presentations, you will have an hour to safely mingle and network and offer your full support for all of these fabulous initiatives. Now, during that time, you can go to the bar, obviously, but the bad news is, well, it's actually good news, the food will be brought to the table, so you can't just be wandering around with your food willy-nilly, and obviously when you are up and walking, it's the mask on, sitting down, the mask can come off. Okay, I'm sure we're all very aware of that. Okay, and now also, for those of you sharing on social media, please do use the social media handles, which you can see above. Above. We'll find them somewhere. The social media handles, which you can see above. Who's on the computer? Who's the clicker? Okay, anyway, find the social media handles, and there'll be something like NZGT Demo Day 2021. Okay, obviously we've got the people joining us from online today. I can see you down there. On Facebook, YouTube, the metaverse, whatever it's called. So we've got the numbers in, I think. So thank you to those 3 people that are watching live. It's great to have you, Tom, Sally, and Richard. Thank you. Okay, another handy thing you can do is scan the QR code on the back of your lanyard. Have a look. Have you tried that yet? It's amazing. If you do that, you're going to get all of these details. It's going to be amazing. It'll be very informative. Okay, obviously things are a little bit different this year because of the old, COVID. Yeah, just making sure everyone knew. So we have had to minimise our guest list and change how we connect at Demo Day to ensure we're responsible hosts. This basically means that all the people here selected to be here today are very important. You're all winners. It's basically like you've got an MIQ spot. So congratulations on that. You're also people that obviously have this opportunity and you've got some influence to make a real difference. And potentially you've got some money too, which would be helpful as well. But also, most importantly, you have the ability to affect positive and sustainable change. You've got a call to action. You've got to do something. You've got to help these teams. They've got amazing ideas, but they just need a bit more support, okay? And that's your job. Okay, so let's get the show on the road. It's now my absolute pleasure to introduce our first guest speaker, the Honourable Dr. David Clark. David is Minister of Commerce and Consumer Affairs, Minister for Digital Economy and Communications, Minister for State-Owned Enterprises, and Minister of Statistics. He's also the Minister responsible for the Earthquake Commission. One of the key reasons David stood for Parliament was because he was concerned about the growing gap between rich and poor, which he sees as limiting New Zealand's social and economic potential. Inequality featured strongly in his maiden address to the House of Representatives in 2012. He believes we can and must achieve a fairer society where everyone has a good opportunity to succeed. He also has the same last name as Helen Clark, so I reckon that was probably a good omen for him and henceforth. I was going to talk about some of your pastimes, but seeing as I want to get into politics, I'm going to leave that joke alone. And I'd love to welcome to the stage the Honourable David Clark.
E ngā mana, i ngā reo, i ngā karangatanga maha o te wā. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou koutoua. Ki ngā mana whenua, ko taranaki whānui te Atiawa, ko Ngāti Toa Rangatira, anu nei aku mihi ki a koutou. Noku te honore, kia haere mai ki te whakanuia tēnei huihuinga whakahirehira. Nō reira, ngā manaakitanga ki runga i a tātou katoa, tēnā koutou, huri noa i te whare, tēnā rā, tātou katoa. I'm delighted to be here to host the New Zealand GovTech Accelerator Demo Day for 2021. I am delighted that Auntie Helen and I share the same name. We've had selfies together on that basis. At the outset, I do want to thank today's organisers, Catherine Jones, the team at Creative HQ, for making the event possible for 4 years and counting. Innovation really is at the heart of an adaptive, modern public service. It has to be. We're operating in a world of complex problems, and experimenting with diverse ways of doing things is going to be essential if we want to solve the problems and challenges that lie before us. And as COVID-19 has shown, when we're put in a spot where innovation is the only opportunity, it comes to the fore, and we are able, as governments, as businesses, able to respond in innovative ways to make the changes that are needed. We've seen this with the development of trusted tools, inclusive services, to keep Kiwis safe and informed. These rapid shifts in the way that we have operated is shaping a new set of expectations for the way that government operates. So we're working fast, putting in place frameworks, strategies, things that will enable the change that we need to deliver a higher productivity New Zealand into the future. One of those things that I'm working on is a digital strategy for Aotearoa New Zealand. And that's just been out for consultation. Some of you may have contributed to that consultation, and I want to thank you very much for that. By and large, we've had some very positive feedback on it, some constructive suggestions. And that framework is designed to make sure that government is better positioned as a part of an overall New Zealand response to support innovation, development, and things that are in New Zealand's interests. We've got 3 pillars in it which have been proposed. Mahi tika, or trust, doing things the right way, mahi tahi, or inclusion, which is about making sure that we're all moving together as a country and making the most of the available workforces, and then mahi ake, or growth, which is about seizing our piece of the pie as Aotearoa New Zealand, or a bit more if we can. We are a small trading nation, a long way from markets. That has been our challenge in the past. A lot of that disappears in the digital world. In fact, there are opportunities which come from living in a different time zone. And so we believe that it's a good time to be thinking very clearly about how we position ourselves in the world. We are a trusted country, and we have the opportunity to innovate, to deploy artificial intelligence, for example, in an ethical way, to demonstrate what's possible, to then sell our products to the world. And we know that our products in the trusted online space are viewed well globally. That's partly to do with New Zealand being a high trust country. Trust in government has been high. Trust in business is high. We rank on global indices in those ways. And when I talk to my counterparts overseas, they have lots of expertise. They have strategies in place. Often I'm asking them about specifics of those things. They ask me about ethical deployment of AI, algorithm charter, those kinds of questions. And we have a place in the world, I think, to lead in those areas. So we do want to see continued vibrant growth of the tech sector. It is the fastest growing sector in New Zealand at the moment, and it's outstripped the economy by 30% in recent times. We're taking steps to ensure that all of our industries have the support they need to have growth in the tools that would support their expansion, the digital and technical tools that would support a modern New Zealand with a lower carbon footprint, with high-value sustainable jobs into the future. We want to make sure that every Kiwi who wants to ride the digital wave is able to do so. And some of the challenges that have been laid out are that right now, and historically, that hasn't been the case. There are some who have been excluded, and some groups have told me they want to get their board in the water, and I think that's a fair request. We as a government are looking to how we can facilitate that to make sure that we're making the most of all New Zealanders' opportunities into the future. So, as members of central, local government, business, the tech sector, we all have a role in making sure we get those high-value jobs into the future. The last year has shown us that when face-to-face interactions prove difficult, we need trusted digital services. And this government is committed to building trusted networks, enhancing trust and confidence, and making sure that organisations are well placed to handle personal and business identity information. The government's Digital Identity Trust Framework is currently before Select Committee. That will keep people safe online while they use modern tools that are required to engage in society and the economy. And that legislation is designed to put a framework in place that ensures everyone is able to understand their obligations and the opportunities that lie ahead for us. I do encourage those of you who might be inclined to submit to that process as well. We want a robust framework in place that has wide support because the digital future demands of us the ability to get online safely as businesses, as government, as private citizens. The trust framework has the potential to provide some productivity gains as well, to make it easier for individuals to prove their qualifications, to start new jobs without having to show documents in person. I'm also committed to ensuring the digital identity system reflects Māori perspectives and makes it easier and more inviting for Māori to participate online. A trusted modern digital identity system will help grow our digital economy, transform government services and ensure all New Zealanders can take part in the digital world. Many of you here will be familiar with the strategy for a digital public service. We are seeing the public sector move at a greater pace as that strategy plays out. The strategy focuses on the people, behaviours and settings for a modern public service that can adapt and grow in a rapidly changing environment. There's still plenty of work to do in that area, and we are currently refreshing the work program of that strategy. I've talked a lot about the role of innovation in a modern adaptive public service, but you can't manage what you can't measure. Creative HQ has been funded by the Digital Public Services Innovation Fund to develop and pilot an innovation barometer. That tool is designed to help agencies to identify and foster the conditions necessary to support innovation and to align with the strategy for a digital public service. And that includes areas such as culture and leadership, empowerment, innovation outputs, collaboration, and rules and systems. Over 10 public service agencies have taken part in the Innovation Barometer, with more pending and some excellent results so far, which you can find out more about through the Creative HQ team. So as I draw to a close, we're operating in a world of complex problems where experimenting with diverse ways of doing things is essential. And that's why innovation has to be at the heart of a modern adaptive public service. I want to celebrate the initiative you're taking and the months of hard work that have gone into the projects that will be on show here today. From developing new ideas for sustainable procurement, broadening access to geospatial data and addressing climate change, to innovation for managing contaminated land, a digital approach to resource management, and taking a whānau-centred approach to social system change, we celebrate your innovation. Thank you for your passion for these projects. They reflect not only your skill, but also your willingness to collaborate and think outside the box to build a better country of which all New Zealanders can be very proud. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā rā, tātou katoa.
Thank you very much, Minister Clark, sir. Thank you. Very good, and obviously those key words there, innovation, and also, what was your other key words there, sorry? Innovation, New Zealanders, public service. The public sector have got a role to play, okay? And I believe that's some of you guys, so play that role well. Okay, so here's how today is going to work. Each of the teams will show a short champion video to their project, and their pitch will follow. Unfortunately, there won't be time for questions and answers directly after that, but there will be plenty of time at the end in the safe mingle to get to know the teams and talk to them. So without further ado, I think we should hear from our first team. It's my honour to introduce team number 1, Resilience Aotearoa, LINZ. The Resilience Aotearoa project brings together a team from Toitō Whenua Land Information New Zealand and Te Rākau Whakamarumaru National Emergency Management Agency. This project is working to better coordinate Aotearoa's emergency management data to increase our resilience to crises and disasters. Please join me in welcoming Rob Deacon.
In times of national disaster and emergency, we need reliable and timely geospatial and property information to give us a detailed picture of what's happening. That's where this project comes in, so people can make decisions faster and better. That will save lives, save homes, and save livelihoods. I'm so proud of our team for bringing organisations together to create new geospatial tools and improve the way our people collaborate.
During an emergency, time is our most precious resource. Acting quickly saves lives. Kia ora koutou. I'm Rob from the Resilience Aotearoa team, and we're saving emergency responders valuable time by providing them with trusted and reliable geospatial information that they need when they need it. In February 2011, an earthquake brought Christchurch to its knees. There were many casualties. Buildings were down, transport was disrupted, roads impassable, and the power was out. Emergency responders launched into action. They needed a picture of where the danger was, who needed assistance, and how they could provide that support. To do this, they needed relevant and reliable geographic information to help them create that picture. Unfortunately, that information wasn't always easy to find. It was often distributed across multiple organisations, and people were reliant on personal contacts to find the information that they needed. Even then, they weren't certain it was authoritative, so there was uncertainty in the decisions that were being made, duplication of effort, and time being wasted, and people's lives being put at risk.
But yes, like I said, he's started off very strongly, don't you think? Yeah. And now he's got the, so I think just continue there. You've got the handheld. Great work.
Okay, are you with me? Can you hear me at the back? Cool. Unfortunately, emergencies are happening more frequently than you would think. And each time we have the same frustrations arise for those of us who are trying to provide that vital information to the people that need it. Solutions are put together ad hoc, mid-crisis. We reinvent wheels and start from scratch at the very time that those people who are under pressure are trying to deliver services to the people who need it. We plan to change that. We're building a lasting solution that provides information during peacetime so that those who need the data will know where to go to find it when they need it, so that they can make decisions quickly at the time of action. CODEM collates available existing emergency management information into one place. It can either be searched through the catalogue, or data can be pulled from pre-assembled bundles of information to meet the needs. Only data that meets certain standards will be provided, giving people the confidence in its authenticity. The system will even provide access to breaking news, provide updates of information as it is added to the system. Crucially, we'll be working ahead of disasters to put in place critical data sharing agreements so that those barriers are removed at a time that they are needed most. And we'll be working with existing communities of practice to make sure that this technology is part of their BAU. For example, if there were a major earthquake in Taupo, from a single site, information could be linked on damage assessments, vulnerable communities, welfare centres, critical infrastructure. And this means that users would not need to be ringing around their contacts. They could just get it from a central point, saving them time. And organisations, either government organisations or NGOs or HAPU groups that are delivering those services, can get the information that they need to support their communities. We know the technology works. We've done it multiple times. We do it ad hoc and develop temporary situations each time, and that's part of the problem. The hard work that goes into building these solutions isn't capitalised on because nobody wants to own the solution once the event has passed. It's only by working collaboratively and together that we can build something that is enduring. And throughout this programme, we've had great support from some really engaged stakeholders and key users who understand that. We have commitment from these key organisations to continue to work with us on a proof of concept for the next 6 months, and additional funding and support provided by Toitū Te Whenua Land Information New Zealand to put in place a team to lead this work. Those working at the front line know how important this system will be. Emergencies are stressful, unpredictable, high-stakes situations. But the two things that we do know for sure is, one, that they will keep happening, and two, that we can do a much better job. This is our opportunity to make sure that next time we're rocked by a major disaster, we're better placed as a nation to respond and recover from it. E hara taku toa I te toa tahi he toa takatini. Success is not the work of one, but the work of many. If you'd like to find out more about the work that we're doing and be one of the many supporting our success, please come and talk to the team afterwards. Kia ora.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Rob. Obviously, that was amazing. Good to see my employer up there on one of your top 6.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Are they like first on board, or?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, obviously, we do know a bit about emergencies in the police, but not the massive big ones. But we're always there to help if we can, and we say we need CODEM. So let's get them.
Yep, we've had great support from them.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much, Rob. Marvellous presentation. Didn't he do well?
Thank you.
Okay, so next up, team number 2. We've got the Sustainable Supply Chain. This project is a partnership sponsored by the Westpac Government Innovation Fund that brings together a diverse group of public and private organisations. It's powered by a project team from the Ministry for Business, Innovation and Employment and the Sustainable Business Network, who are working to support SMEs in Aotearoa to support them to understand sustainable procurement, their values, and take action to make their supply chains more sustainable. Please join me in welcoming Holly Norton.
This project is so important for Aotearoa because sustainable procurement cannot wait. The time is now, and this solution provides a really tangible start point for our small to medium enterprises, which will fundamentally shift their approach to sustainable procurement to one that's values-based, which is the best place to start. I wholeheartedly support this project because of what it will do for our small to medium enterprises. Sustainable procurement is something that can seem quite overwhelming and at times confusing, and this solution provides a really simple, straightforward but effective solution, and this project team has done an amazing job to get the project here.
Kia ora, thank you so much for that, Alice. Kia ora koutou, ko Holly tuku ingoa. Today, I represent Team Sustainable Supply Chain, a cross-government business NGO team who together have combined to tackle a force so powerful that none of us can tackle it alone. A force that controls billions of dollars and can create good or evil. What is this force? It's shopping. It's just shopping. But before you panic, it's not the shopping, it's how we are shopping, or more precisely, how businesses are shopping, otherwise known as procurement. The problem with shopping or procuring goods and services is that the majority of businesses don't know how to ensure that what they buy is sustainable. Good for them, good for people, good for the planet, and good for the economy at large. We interviewed around 50 businesses. Is this okay? Shall I use the... Is this better? Like a mover person? Yeah, I mean, I could cheat if I was here, but...
All right, okay, well, do you want to stand there?
I'm cool here.
Okay,
Cool, thank you.
I'll go.
Thank you, Officer O'Leary. Where were we? We interviewed around 50 businesses, and only 5% could actually define sustainable procurement. 5%. And that knowledge gap is even bigger when it comes to SMEs, small to medium-sized enterprises. Consider this. Just 3% of businesses in New Zealand are big business, and yet they have so much procurement support. They have access to online procurement workshops and things like I host. They have consultants, they have in-house professionals, they have international leadership groups. The list goes on. But when it comes to SMEs, they make up 97% of our businesses. 97%. That's a quarter of our annual GDP that they make up, $71 billion. And yet typically, they report no support. Either they can't find it, they can't understand it, or they can't afford it. And it's really, really tough for them. I mean, we all know the feeling of frantically rushing through a supermarket, trying to trade off whether we should be buying local, plastic packaging free, organic, vegan, fair trade, against the limited cash that we have to spend. This is exactly how the SMEs that we interviewed feel too, overwhelmed and under pressure. Only for SMEs, that pressure is tenfold. They're facing fast intensifying government legislation around sustainability and their customers' demands for transparency. The reality is, if they can't meet carbon reporting targets, they can't provide modern slavery disclosures, and they can't showcase the diversity in their supply chains, they can't win contracts, they lose customers, they can't trade globally, and they are not future-proofed to survive. They need a solution. And we have that solution. The Sustainable Supply Chain Toolkit. I know, it's so exciting. It's a fast, free, easy-to-use tool which simply helps a business diagnose its sustainable procurement needs, sets out the actions that they need to take, and importantly, connects them to the ecosystem of support out there that can actually help them take these actions. Let's take a quick look at how this tool could work for Tarina, a real business owner we interviewed about her Christchurch cleaning company. Now, Tarina, like many businesses, wants to expand her operations. She wants to apply for a council contract. Only the tender has a question about how sustainable her business is. She was a bit stuck, but fortunately, the tender also includes a link to the toolkit. It's free to use, so Tarina jumps online. Now, this tool starts out with a values assessment. Seems a bit strange, but the reason for this is that while most businesses can't define sustainable procurement, nearly all of them had no trouble giving us a long list of all the positive actions they are taking when you simply ask them about their values. In Tarina's case, she's paying a living wage, and she's passionate about providing flexible hours to working mothers. This tool quickly helps her identify that actually her values align strongly with social procurement and prompts her to answer a few more questions about this topic. She could also ask questions about economic, cultural, and environmental procurement if she chose. Along the way, while asking questions, she gets to find out about topics and terminology she may not have come across before. And finally, it takes her to a results page. This results page does 3 awesome things. First of all, it shows her what she's already doing. It does this in simple, clear, easy to understand language that she can share with her customers, and she can share in tenders and when communicating to people who she wants to sell things to. Problem solved. Secondly, it shows her actions that she can take, things she can do to be more sustainable that align with her values. And this includes questions that she could ask her suppliers if information she might need is missing. Things she could ask her cleaning companies, for example, cleaning product suppliers. Finally, it connects her to the tools and resources out there that could really help her along her way, tailored for SMEs. In just a few minutes, this tool has helped Tarina, and it has helped businesses both up and down the supply chain. So, we have a solution. And we know that it works. We tested the solution in public workshops, and we heard things from SMEs like, wow, I really understand what actions I need to take now, or this answered so many of my questions. And we even heard from some big businesses who were willing to pay to share the tool with their supply chains because of the quality data insights that it gave them into what was happening in their supply chain. Next steps, what are we waiting for? We need to get it into the hands of businesses. We need to take it from pilot to prototype to launch. What we're waiting for? What we're waiting for is you. This is a systemic problem, which means all of us have a responsibility to find a solution. And as you can see on the screen up here, we've had a huge group of awesome organizations already putting their hands up to try and lead this change and try and create this solution. And we're incredibly excited about so many of them coming forward on this journey with us. So far, between business.gov, Ministry for the Environment, MAS, Amotai, Ministry of Business and Employment, Employment New Zealand, and SBN, we have an awesome team taking this forward who together have just about come up with all of the awesome content lead delivery people to make sure this tool is powered by experts, and around 50 to 80% of the pilot funding and about 50% of the total funding to make this a reality. That's a lot to have achieved in 3 months given how many stakeholders. We're really excited about where this is going. But we still need your help. We need just 20 to 40K, 20 to 40,000. I'm sure some of you could achieve that this evening, 20 to 40,000 to press play on the pilot and actually kick off right after this program and start building this tool and piloting it and getting it into the hands of businesses. We also need, and I think many of you in this room will have this, connections to people with networks to SMEs so that we can scale this tool far and wide and make the impact huge. So if this sounds like you, please, we really want to talk to you. You can have a role in making businesses more sustainable. You can shape how business and government procure, and you can help New Zealand get on track to meet its global targets around carbon, slavery, and waste. You. If this sounds like you, please come and chat to me or one of my awesome team some point this evening and chat about your role in leading this movement with us. Kia ora.
Thank you very much. Can I hear, do we hear $5? $5 anywhere? $5? No, we're going for 10 now. We've got $10. So we've got 10 over there at the back. 10 to 20? Look, I'll put in $25 at least of my own money. Awesome. So all we need now is another 38,975. Pretty much the great. Well, you've done a great job, then you've got the money, in my opinion. Well done. Thank you very much, Holly. Okay, next up, we have an MFE team. RMA Digital Transformation, MFE. This team brings together individuals from across Aotearoa, sponsored by Manatu Mō Te Tao, Ministry for the Environment. This project, in light of the resource management reforms, is identifying potential ways to improve implementation of the resource management system through digital technologies. Let's hear all about it. Hi, Laurie. hang on, I've got to welcome the person. Sorry. You distracted me now, Laurie. I'd just love to welcome now Dan Harvey and his great video and his great presentation. Let's go.
This team have done an amazing job thinking about what they really need to do to understand the problems with the current system and how we deliver it in a digital environment. Well, the reform of the system is critical for the future of New Zealand. Being able to take the opportunity now to understand how we're delivering that through digital technology is critical. And a big part of that is that central government, regional government, local government, working with iwi Māori, have all worked together to kind of identify the key tools and systems we need to be able to do our jobs well. I think they've got a really good grasp on what we need to do next.
Kia ora. I'm Dan from the Ministry for the Environment. For the past 13 weeks, I've been part of a team from central and local government, iwi, and industry, working on ways to make the resource management system more effective and efficient through better use of digital technology as part of ongoing reforms to the system. There's widespread consensus that change is needed, and change can have a transformational impact on how the system works for both people and the environment. Digital systems used for resource management are fragmented and uncoordinated across the country, with 78 different local authorities employing as many different approaches. There's also little digital support from mana whenua to bring their knowledge and their worldview into resource management processes. With reform, there's an opportunity to create smart and connected system which reduces duplication and reduces inequalities across the country. I'd like to show you now what a smart and connected system could look like, using an application for a resource consent by a land developer as an example. So in this digital future, a land developer applies for a resource consent online, and they have dynamic access to all the relevant planning rules and regulations at the proposed project site, and this is all built into the application system. They also have access to data that mana whenua have made available through their own digital platform about the marae, maunga, and awa, and the developer can use this information to prepare a more considered application. Much of this process is now automated, which means councils can focus on the merits of the application rather than on administration of the application, and that speeds up the process for everyone. You can track progress of the application online in real time, and if the consent is granted, ongoing compliance with the consent conditions. Planning information is shared by default, so policymakers and others who might create value out of this data have better visibility over what's being applied for and what decisions are being made. This digital future is not a pipe dream. It's very doable. Parts of it are in place at councils already, like an smart online consenting system at Marlborough District Council and an iwi engagement platform at Auckland Council. Countries like Scotland and Denmark are also advancing initiatives like this on a national scale. A key insight from our time here in the Accelerator is that large-scale digital transformation like this is about more than just the technology change, and in many respects, the technology change is the easy part. The challenge is meeting the complex and diverse needs of all the people and institutions which comprise the resource management sector, of which there are many. It takes time to get this part right. And our time working here in the Accelerator is really just the start of this engagement process, not the end of it. We need to keep working on it to be ready to do something truly transformative while the future system is being established. In the meantime, it's not too early to start testing what these ideas might look like in practice. One thing we can start with was a prototype GIS viewer, like this one shown from Scotland, which has all of the planning instruments shown in the future system in a user-friendly and machine-consumable format, with all of the planning layers well integrated, both in style and substance. Planning instruments in the future system will include a national planning framework, regional spatial strategies, and combined regional plans. A viewer like this could be a convenient one-stop shop for planning information, and prototyping it will bring to the fore a lot of processes being changing to reach this functional endpoint. If we don't prepare for change now, existing ways of working are going to embed in the future system and be much, much harder to change later. Let me repeat that. Existing ways of working will embed in the future system and be much harder to change later. So we need to make sure we meet this unique opportunity now to build a smart and connected resource management system that works better for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Comprehensive. Did you do a lot of work on that yourself, did you? Okay, good. It's always good to delegate, that's what I find, and I think you've obviously done a good job, your team's done a great job, so thank you very much for that presentation. Enjoy yourself, now you can relax now, finished your hard bit. Okay, next up we have a Wellington City Council team, TrackDem. This team comes from Mehekiki Pōneke Wellington City Council, who are working to make the decisions coming out of the council and committee meetings easy to access for both the public and for council staff. And I know that I want to read all about those decisions. So let's welcome up to the stage now Kylie from the WCC team. Thank you.
Local government is so important in our daily lives from the moment we turn on the tap in the morning, and yet it is very poorly understood. I support TrackDem because I think it's a way of giving our public better access to the facts behind the decisions, and it makes local government just that much more meaningful and more easy to understand. It's about identifying an opportunity to do our job better for our community. I think that's a great initiative.
On the 28th of September 1870, Wellington City Council held its first council meeting. The first order of business, electing a mayor. We know this because they wrote it in the pages of the minutes book to be stored and viewed at the council offices. 150 years later, we still record the minutes of the meeting, but on digital paper to be stored on the website as PDFs. Regardless of the topics of the papers that go to a council meeting, which could range from roading to pools to botanic gardens, they're all connected by the minutes of that one meeting, even if they're unrelated. So to find important decision information, you need to know who made the decision and when in order to find out what happened. And the minutes are the only place to find those decisions. Hi, I'm Kylie, and I'm here to talk to you on behalf of our team about our project TrackDem, which stands for Transparent Council Decision Making. You may not know a lot about how council makes decisions, so here's a simple rundown. A paper that recommends a course of action goes to a council meeting. The councillors, who are elected by the people of Wellington, decide if they're for or against that recommendation. That goes in the decision goes in the minutes, and the decision becomes actions, and those decisions and actions become changes in our city. Because of the way this information is recorded in the minutes of the meeting, the process for the public to find out what was decided is frustrating, it's time-consuming, and it requires a level of understanding of council processes. Because of this, council struggles to show the connection between decisions and real-world change, and council staff spend time helping each other and the public find information, time that could be spent doing other work. We've talked to Wellingtonians who regularly engage with council-making decision information, and they have told us that when a decision goes into the opaque place of council staff, we don't know if it's being acted on. If you're not proactive, it's hard to stay informed, and I find it complicated finding the minutes. We don't want it to be hard for people to find out what happened at a council meeting. We need more transparency. We need trust to be an effective democracy. We want everyone in Wellington to have easy access to this information because there are decisions being made weekly that affect their lives and the city that they live in. So here's the plan. We want to take key information about the paper that went to a council meeting so we can show what was decided and what's being acted on. I'll give you a quick tour of our prototype that we built around this concept. We have the title of the paper. We used the Brooklyn Cycleway Trial as an example. It shows key details, an overview, and a link to the full paper. We have links through to more information like the agenda, the minutes, and the recording of the meeting. We have a breakdown of the decisions that were made and the actions that are being taken. And then we have more information from council staff with important progress updates. We will show how this paper links to others on the same topic, so readers can see the progress over time, and it helps us show more transparency. And finally, we'll provide email and email notifications and close the engagement loop. We've heard through our user interviews the positive impact this tool could have. Everyone that we talked to said that they would use this tool if it was available to them, and that the information was presented in a more accessible way. Some said it would save them time, and others that they would feel the council was being more transparent. I will be working with my team for the next 6 months to build on the work that we started in the GovTech Accelerator and turn our prototype into a fully functioning tool. Our team is made up of people with experience in information management, analytics, search expertise, a deep understanding of local government's democratic process, and data capabilities. More widely, we have access to the talents of our colleagues at Wellington City Council. We are so excited to be presenting Wellington's decision information in a more accessible way. The simpler it is for people to access this information, the more people of Wellington can find the decisions that are being made and get involved. Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much, Kylie. I did just have just a question for you. Is it true that you use the same cartoonist from Pack and Save to do your cartoons for your thing?
Yes.
Well, I guess it makes sense because obviously what you're trying to do is pack the minutes of meetings into a way that saves people time. So it's genius. Pack and Save, love it. Thank you very much. I just want to say first and foremost to you guys, the guys online, I can see you down there. Some of you got dressed up, that's nice. I know there's now 127 of you watching this, so I hope you're having a whale of a time. Thank you. Also, I just want to apologise for the microphone issues that we've been experiencing. Well, not me, but some of the speakers. Don't let that detract you from their amazing presentations, okay? If you're thinking they didn't sound that great, I'm not going to invest in that or give them heaps of money. It's a really bad reason to not invest, okay? That was just a technical glitch, happens all the time to the best of us. Okay, we are almost at the halfway mark, and soon we have Dr. Ganesh Nana joining us shortly, but first we'd like to show you a clip of the impact that GovTech, the GovTech program, is having on public sector innovations. Take it away, video.
Kia ora, I'm Vanya from Kāinga Ora Homes and Communities in Auckland. Last year we attended the Accelerator program. Because of the program we were able to present our solution, which was a digital platform, to Kāinga Ora, who absolutely loved it due to the fact that it was created through co-design with our customers. We've been working on our solution since we left the program, so thumbs up. Awesome, and now we've been approved to move to the next phase. So thank you, Accelerator program, and kia ora, well done everyone.
The Innovation Barometer is a tool to measure and improve public sector innovation. Since the Accelerator, we continued the pilot with 4 government organisations, which included workshops to kind of co-create actions to improve. We then did a big review and presented our findings to our partners and the Digital Government Leadership Group, which then led to additional funding from DAA's Digital Government Partnerships Innovation Fund. We were then able to build out our digital product, which visualises the data, and you can filter and compare teams and provide generic actions to improve. Where we're at now is we're in the middle of another cycle with organisations, bringing them on board, with Ministry for Health leading that cycle.
Kia ora, I'm Sam from Greater Wellington, and our project is all about managing our freshwater information to improve our waterways. Now we are just introducing a transformational step in regards to freshwater data. We're starting from the ground up, and our ultimate goal is to build a fully integrated environmental data management system.
My name's Glenn Clarkin, and I was a participant in last year's Creative HQ GovTech program, and my team's project is called Elevation Aotearoa. The program introduced us to a range of innovative tools and techniques, which allowed us to quickly develop prototypes and recommendations to address our project goals. I'm pleased to say that since our time on the project finished in December last year, many of the things we developed have either been implemented or are in the pipeline.
Hi, I'm Mark. Our project is to build local economic systems that are optimised for human community well-being. We got a lot of international exposure from the project afterwards through the press and TV exposure and interest from the United Nations. So we're really progressing forward now with building on the learnings from the first phase. Since the programme finished, we ran a trial in Canons Creek that got a lot of publicity. Really proud around where we got to in quite a short period of time with limited resources. Really couldn't have done without all the team at Creative HQ helping us get to this point.
Thank you, what a delightful video. It is now my absolute pleasure to welcome Dr. Ganesh Nana to the stage. As Ambassador, Dr. Nana is a champion for the New Zealand GovTech Accelerator, providing support and advice as required for the betterment of the programme. As Chair of the New Zealand Productivity Commission, innovation is an integral component for lifting productivity in Aotearoa. Please help me welcome Ganesh Nana.
E ngā iwi, e ngā mana, e ngā reo, e rau rangatira mā, tēnā koutou, kia ora koutou katoa. I acknowledge Māori as tangata whenua of Aotearoa and pay my respects to your tūpuna, my tūpuna and our tūpuna who have come here from places far away to build this little nation of ours. It's our responsibility to look after and then pass on to the next generation. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for your time, and thank you to the Creative HQ team who have managed to put together this little gathering. It's great to have a gathering in person, and to those down the line, looking down the line online for us. I don't know about you, but it's obviously been a difficult time for many of us, and we take this opportunity to gather together, welcome it and look after it. I don't know how you feel, but it's always, I do feel honoured to be in a country where we can do this sort of stuff safely. To the matter for today, it's all about innovation. But before talk about innovation, and we've heard that word quite often, and I'm going to use that word quite often today, I must confess that I'm a numbers geek, okay? So I love numbers, and it's second only to my love of cricket. Although I will admit that there's a clear link between the two. But I reassure you that I can do words also. And one of the most important words in my world now, unsurprisingly, is productivity, because I'm chair of the Productivity Commission, okay? And actually, without stretching it too much, I actually get paid to say the word productivity quite often, okay? So, unfortunately though, despite productivity being a great word, it does have negative connotations to some people. And that's my job to put those negative connotations to one side. And so in the context of productivity, there's another word that I like to use, and that word is innovation. Okay, and dare I say that there's a clear link between the two, between innovation and productivity. Innovation. What do we call it? Or what do I call it? Or what do I refer to it as? Investment and innovation go together. It's investment in understanding the way our communities react and respond, and understanding how our environment reacts to today's challenges. Investment in new ways of doing things, in new ways of delivering things, in devising new products, new services, investment in innovations in reshaping government responses, interventions and interactions. Innovation in structuring the relationships and models that drive our world. Some other words that I'll use that I find quite attractive in this context: resilience, transformation, reimagining, change, and that theme for today, sustainability. All of those words, however you might like to interpret them and use them, they're all signals and characteristics that we need to embrace if we are to be prepared for the increasingly uncertain world that is undoubtedly out there, that increasing pace of change that will only accelerate. We can't be scared of that. We've got to embrace those characteristics. Embracing them wholeheartedly means valuing innovation. It means being open to new minds. For productivity challenge undoubtedly requires adopting innovative methods. And the one thing that I like most about the GovTech program is how it encourages us not only to be innovative, but to go outside our comfort zone. That's something that's quite brave and courageous, and we all have to look carefully at ourselves about, are we prepared to go outside our comfort zone? To try new things, and even be prepared to fail. Because that goes with innovation. It goes with being outside our comfort zone, and then learn from our failures to then continue to try again. Failing shouldn't stop us being innovative. It just means we need to pick ourselves up and go even further. And the part of our comfort zone that I think is quite important is that collaboration with those outside our group. In an entity like the Productivity Commission, a cross-agency perspective on something is sort of a no-brainer. And I must say that I'm impressed with the cross-agency work and the impetus behind many of the teams today. It is well represented today. We at the Productivity Commission see little need for a range of agencies all attempting to tackle the same challenge individually. That really is old school thinking, especially if we see ourselves as serving similar stakeholders, those who live in Aotearoa. That broad public service ethic, being in service to the public, means that there are no boundaries, there are no silos for what we can try to reshape, to resolve, and to ultimately achieve. This is all, after all, where we all are, individually, in this audience, the need to question ourselves about going outside our comfort zone and grasp these innovative ideas, these cross-agency options, get out of our silos and adopt the cross-agency programs, because we all are in this room serving that one stakeholder, those who reside in Aotearoa, whether they're resident now or whether they're resident into the future. It is another thing, last one. It is one thing to support programs like the GovTech program, but it's another thing to learn from them. And if there's the one thing that we need to learn apart from innovation, it's that collaboration is important. We've got to be cross-agency in this world, because our one stakeholder really doesn't care what ministry or department or organisation you work for. They really don't care which budget line it's being funded from. Okay? And lastly, just the one thing, the why. Why are we here today? The final word for today is well-being. It's the one thing that's closest to my heart, even closer than cricket. And it's why I'm in this game. The well-being of individuals, of people, of families, of whānau, of hapu, of communities, of businesses, of workers, of iwi, of papatuanuku. Well-being is central to all. And that is why innovation is so important to me, because our conventional models, our conventional perspectives, our previous models, our interventions and solutions have, let's be honest, they've failed in delivering well-being to all in Aotearoa. But that's not going to stop us trying. It is through embracing innovative responses to the challenges we face, I am sure that we can successfully turn around this record. So I'd just like to wish and enthusiastically congratulate and celebrate all of the efforts of all of the project teams here today, and for shining the light for others to follow. You've done well. Thank you. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, kia ora koutou katoa.
you. Sorry, Ganesh, I just did have a couple of questions for you vis-a-vis around the productivity of the black caps in terms of winning world titles. I mean, I'm just wondering if maybe they need to provide show more innovation with the ball when they're bowling, like especially in the T20 World Cup.
Yeah, but we don't want any innovation that includes sandpaper.
No, and we just meant more resilience against the Australian team.
Oh, absolutely.
As per. And
yeah,
then,
but the productivity's pretty good in terms of well-being. We all had a good game.
But maybe that's why we lose all the time. We just had a nice game. We're having fun. Who cares about the trophy?
The trophy, well, there's another one next year.
Okay, we'll get that one. All right, good. Yep, we'll show resilience. We'll be there. Very good. Thank you very much, Ganesh. Okay, well, I think we should get straight back into the pictures, don't you? Are you all having a great time? That sounded more mediocre to me. Are you having a great time? Great. Okay, well, here we go. The next team is from DOC, Climate Change Team. The next team brings together individuals from Te Papa Atawhai, the Department of Conservation, and is looking to support the engagement required with tourism concessionaires to work towards a low-carbon future. Please welcome to the stage, Sam.
This is a very complex challenge and a complex problem. They've really grappled with it and they've come up with some great strategies. We wouldn't have done this work had it not been for this team. And as a result, we're now in a much stronger position to be able to work with our tourism concessionaires particularly and the broader tourism industry to really start to make a difference in regard to our carbon and our climate change content.
One of the things that I've loved watching is actually how the process has unfolded over the last 16 weeks. Trust the process, do the work, and you'll get a great result. And actually just to be able to reflect on some of the behavioural change aspects that we need.
We're really excited. This is a great opportunity and just major thanks to this team. Really so proud of them.
In 2019, a series of storms, landslides and rain events caused DOC to close the Fox Glacier Road indefinitely. The $16 million repair bill and the risk that the now common heavy rain events would cause the damage again meant DOC had to make a hard climate decision. Visitors can no longer get as close to the glacier as they have before. DOC manages 1/3 of New Zealand's land and has over 1,000 contracts called concessions that allow people to run their tourism businesses on it. This is a key way New Zealanders and tourists recreate on our whenua. Collectively, DOC and tourism concessionaires need to lower their emissions to meet New Zealand's carbon zero target. DOC will be carbon neutral by 2025, and to get here, DOC will be carbon neutral by 2025, and to do this, we need to build trust and transparency with our tourism concessionaires. We need to make challenging decisions that not only about conservation activities that not only reduce emissions, but increase our resilience of biodiversity, recreation, and heritage values. We already have a legal mandate to include climate change in our decision making, and we need to work with concessionaires to increase our trust and transparency while going on our carbon reduction journey together. We found that there's room for improvement with DOC's engagement and relationship with tourism concessionaires, and that over 70% said that their main problem when lowering emissions is that they need help. On top of that, 60% were wanting to look for best practice examples in similar businesses. So we've designed the Concessionaire Carbon Project, a 9-month pilot where DOC and tourism concessionaires work together to test a way that they can transition to a low carbon future. Delivered by a sustainability manager in partnership with government, industry and business, this will include DOC sharing climate-related decisions and future plans that impact concessionaires, accessible resources and tools that help concessionaires lower their emissions, and collaboration, connecting businesses that are facing similar issues. This provides the help businesses need, links them up with best practice examples, and enables DOC to provide the transparency we want to around these decisions. The content will be delivered through various methods, from videos, links, document, and virtual HUIs. All concessionaires will be able to access this content on a DOC Climate Hub webpage. We have trialled a webinar and we've looked at surveying our concessionaires around our solutions, and now we're super excited to start learning from each other and implementing. We have approval in principle secured for our pilot. We have commitment of DOC resources to help with implementation, and we're already in initial discussions around partnership. By February 2022, the Climate Hub webpage will be live. By March, engagement with concessionaires and partners will scale up. Then, throughout the next 7 months, we will work together to trial engagement methods, resources, and community collaboration, all while strengthening the partnerships we've already made with government and industry. So why now? Building relationships and trust does not happen quickly. To enable the change that we need in the timeframes we have, we must start now. By engaging with concessionaires and others, we have already been able to identify unique opportunities to collectively lower emissions that we otherwise would have not known about. There will be more of these to come. On top of that, this project is scalable to all DOC stakeholders and internal staff and lays the foundations for the future that we need to activate and influence in lowering carbon emissions. We have an awesome team behind this journey. Olive with her design background, Rose and Katie as climate scientists, and Jamie and myself as DOC insiders with business, community, and partnerships experience. Climate change is already impacting tourism businesses and DOC. We must work together to collectively lower carbon emissions on the whole conservation estate for the health of people, wildlife, and ecosystems. We believe that a future where we no longer contribute to climate change is possible. Will you be part of bringing about that change? Kia ora.
Inspirational stuff. Now, I actually had a pre-written joke here, which I was supposed to say, but if I use my tone wrong, it comes out very badly, which would be this. Here it is. I didn't appreciate how DOC was the manager of a third of New Zealand's land, but if I said it like this, I didn't even appreciate that DOC was the manager of a third of New Zealand's land. So it makes pure sense that you guys are working together with these businesses to utilise the land to transition into a low-carbon future. All I can say is I do appreciate it. Good on you guys. Get some more land. No, just get... No, you've got enough. We'll just give you. There's lots of people that could do with their land back. Anyway, thank you. Okay, rolling right along. Next up, we have a team from Te Pukenga DOC, whose project is Reimagining Conservation Education. This is a collaborative project between Te Pukenga and Te Papa Atawhai, the Department of Conservation. This project is reimagining capability development for conservation in Aotearoa to meet our current and future needs in Te Ao Hurihuri, our changing world. Please join me in welcoming Lissa from the Reimagining Conservation Education Project.
Kia ora everyone, my name is Tame Malcolm and this is my son Kaifare, and I'm involved in pest management. I was very fortunate from a young age, about his age, I was introduced to our ngahere. Since then I've made a career out of protecting our ngahere. In that time, I've learnt a few important lessons around conservation, the number one being that you never stop learning. However, while I've been filling my kete mātauranga, I've always wondered there must be a better way to streamline this learning. So with that, I'm keen to support this group and their kaupapa as they look at ways we can streamline our conservation education system.
I'm really proud of everything that you've achieved, and I know the work that you're going to present shortly is just going to wow everybody who's here. So heads up and thank you so much.
I'm just going to step to the side because I'm a bit short on this lectern. The whakatauki, ko te whenua te waiu mō ngā uri whakatipu, acknowledges the environment as providing sustenance for future generations. Kia ora everyone, my name's Lissa and we're establishing a future-focused conservation academy that provides a platform for everyone to develop the skills Aotearoa needs to help Papatuanuku thrive. Across the country, government agencies, councils, hapu and iwi, Jobs for Nature projects, communities and volunteers are all doing their bit to tackle our biodiversity challenges. Conservation in Aotearoa is growing and changing, and if we're to adapt to the evolving needs and meet our predator-free 2050 goal, our people must have the skills required for that work. The world of vocational education is changing too. More and more, people are demanding that training is accessible and adaptive, that fits around their jobs and their lives, developing the right skills when and where they're needed. We heard that the conservation sector struggles to share knowledge and resources, and that people want training to be adaptable and flexible. We need an approach to skills development that challenges existing models, with a commitment to walking alongside tangata whenua and to recognise mātauranga Māori in conservation mahi. Our solution is to establish a conservation academy with 4 components. It will foster sector collaboration with treaty partnership at the centre and provide a strong voice for conservation training needs. The Education and Training Hub becomes a central place to share knowledge and resources, and a place where people can find a range of learning opportunities. Learning design teams focus on bringing together the right people to develop learning solutions when and where they're needed, and to tackle the sector's call for micro-credentials, apprenticeship models to learning, and recognition of workplace learning. We have support from iwi, education providers, and people working in conservation to develop 3 pilot projects next year as phase 1 of the Conservation Academy. Te Pūkenga and DOC will enter a memorandum of understanding to support this mahi and will invite regional councils and other partners to join them. In our first pilot project, we'll work with selected regions to develop a learning directory, an online place that makes conservation learning opportunities visible and accessible to anyone in the region. Learning is about more than just courses. It can include mentoring, volunteer opportunities, webinars, and other ways to share learning. This pilot promotes sector collaboration and addresses the problem that training can be hard to find and is often siloed. Our second pilot will bring together a team to co-design short courses in Māori environmental practices based on the mātauranga of a particular region. Taranaki iwi will lead the design and the delivery of ways to share their narratives in ways that protect mātauranga. Breaking a full-time program into short chunks of learning that can be stacked towards a qualification will make it easier for anyone, iwi members, employees and volunteers, to develop the skills needed to deliver conservation in partnership, a need that was strongly voiced throughout our research. This pilot models an approach to addressing that need with flexibility, accessibility, and iwi leadership at the heart of the design process. DOC Sentinel Anuku Cadetship is a 2-year program focused on developing Māori leadership and conservation. Our third pilot project will align that cadetship with a qualification in Māori environmental practices. This will recognise knowledge and skills gained on the job in various projects and places. This mahi will introduce to the conservation sector an apprenticeship model for learning. Together, these 3 pilots demonstrate how the Conservation Academy can support the conservation sector to develop their training needs. They also provide valuable insights for potential future work, linking a regional directory to a national one, and further developing the apprenticeship model, as well as exploring the possibility of a digital passport to evidence learning. This is our team, Maya from NMIT, bringing education expertise, and Cornelia, Mahue and myself from Te Papa Atawhai, bringing a conservation and restoration lens. The Aotearoa New Zealand Biodiversity Strategy refers to He Awa Whiria, a braided river, where each braid represents a unique worldview, value or perspective. The Conservation Academy will support the flow of He Awa Whiria by putting treaty partnership at the centre of conservation knowledge and practice, supporting a joined-up collaborative sector moving forward, and making accessible, flexible, people-centred learning now and in the future. As New Zealanders, we have aspirational goals for the restoration of our environment. And if we're to meet those goals, we need people with the right skills. The Conservation Academy can help bridge the gap as it supports people to tackle our biodiversity challenges and help Papatūānuku thrive. Thank you.
So I just wanted to recap. It sounds to me like you're joining together two of my favourite things, which are conservation and education. Obviously, as someone that, if I hadn't been a police officer, I might have been a teacher in a former life. At least 3 people know that I was a teacher in just the other year. Okay, well, thank you very much. It's an amazing initiative. I look forward to all these people giving you heaps of money. And next up, going from conservation to contaminated land. We have a team working on contaminated land. Our next team brings together individuals from Manatu Mō Te Taio, the Ministry for the Environment. This project is making contaminated land data consistent and robust to enable effective land use decisions. Please join me in welcoming Bruce from the Contaminated Land Project.
A difficult area for councils historically has been the management of contaminated land, especially making decisions on contaminated land to protect human health and the environment. Current information on contaminated land use either does not exist or is of varying quality and coverage. This project team has been working hard to investigate how the collection, management and dissemination of contaminated land information can be improved using digital technologies. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this project team's work will help the reform's objectives of improving the environment for future generations.
Ti toto o ti tangata hi kai. Ti oranga o ti tangata hi whenua. Whilst our food provides the blood in our veins, our health is drawn from the land. Kia ora tātou. I'm Bruce Croucher, Principal Analyst, Contaminated Land Team at the Ministry for the Environment. Richmond, 1940. A commercial orchard, which at the time was lightly sprayed with the now banned lead arsenate, which may still be in the soil today. So what's there now? A school. Auckland, 1940s. Market gardens, where the use of persistent pesticides and fertilisers may have left the soil contaminated. So what's there now? Residential housing. Around New Zealand, there will be hundreds of sites like this. Not in my backyard, you may think. Not till you decide to look. Benjamin, a team member, recently discovered that he had 4 times the safe level of lead in the soil in his Newtown flat. There's no easy way to put this. Decades of poor regulations and compliance monitoring have left parts of our once pristine land contaminated. You're probably thinking, is my land contaminated? It's a fair question, and after today, you may wish to ask your council. You'll probably notice that I used the words probably and most likely when describing the previous examples. This is because many councils will not be able to tell you about the status of your land. The issues that we and our stakeholders identified were the non-specific mandate for councils gathering information, and that contaminated land information is poorly documented, if at all. And if it is documented, it's extremely hard to access. The first part of our solution is looking forward. Strengthening the existing mandate and supporting that with comprehensive guidance that includes standards for information management. But the thing about contaminated land is, it's a bit science and a bit history. sampling and analysing soils to find what's there now, and looking back through 100 years of aerial photos and site details to find out what may have contaminated it in the past. For the second part of our solution, we're looking at how we can gather historical information more effectively. For example, Environment Canterbury have taken 16 years to identify 90% of their information. Councils want to address this issue, but they tell us that they are resource limited. We plan to support and assist councils to develop new tools to collect this information quickly and accurately. Currently, the analysis of aerial photos is done by a council officer. This takes hours or even days. Using an artificial intelligence tool to scan these photos is one option to speed this process up. To test this concept, we used a low-cost, off-the-shelf product to help Marlborough District Council identify 180 new historic orchard sites in just 100 seconds. Further developments of this tool could identify other hazardous activities and potentially save councils months or even years. 2 other councils are already looking to use this tool. With this basis of a strong mandate, improved guidelines and better information gathering, in the future, you may be able to see this information online. It may be available for ministries, for councils, and people like Benjamin. But what's the benefit? Good information saves money. With good information, we proactively remediated the Tui mine, saving $160 million in potential cleanup costs. On the flip side, we know the cost of poor information. The Fox River landfill cleanup cost exceeded $3 million, not to mention the reputational and environmental costs to New Zealand. So why is this work urgent? Government is currently reforming the resource management system. This provides a once-in-30-year opportunity to embed a specific mandate and cohesive guidance. The digital transformation of the resource management system provides the ideal opportunity for the development of new tools such as national and regional registers. Whilst this is very exciting, our ministry team is just 2.5 people. We require additional resources to collaborate with regional councils to develop robust, implementable guidelines and to help fund the development of new, innovative tools to identify and assess contaminated land. The ultimate goal is to protect the health of New Zealanders and to enhance the taiao for generations to come. For this, it is essential that contaminated land information is available to everyone. Kia ora.
Thank you, Bruce. Is it just me, or did no one else know actually much about contaminated land until now? I mean, how did we not know about this, Bruce? What's been going on? I mean, I know about contaminated houses vis-a-vis ghosts and things like that, but I don't know anything about this dirty land business.
No, it's all historical stuff.
Okay, but you're going to fix it. Is that what you're trying to say?
Gonna fix it, yeah.
Well, thank you, Bruce. He's going to fix all that once you've got your program up. Thank you very much. Okay, now we're up to our lucky last team. In our lucky last team, we're delighted to welcome the Manaaki Tarawhiti project. The whānau-centric system change team brings together Manaaki Tarawhiti from Tarawhiti Gisborne and Te Manatu Whakahiatu Ora, the Ministry of Social Development. Manaaki Tarawhiti has been spearheading positive change in the social services sector by putting whānau at the centre to ensure social services reflect whānau voice. Please join me in welcoming Les Lynn from the Manaaki Tarawhiti team.
We have to absolutely know how to meet the needs of people of whānau across Aotearoa, New Zealand. I support this project team because they are out there trialling, doing a new innovative activity that is truly about bringing the voice of whānau right to the centre. It creates the space, the ideas, the content that is going to transform the way that we are able to operate, not only across government, but across iwi, in the regions, across community. It's really exciting.
Kia ora. My name's Leslyn Jackson, and I'm here with the Manaaki Tairāwhiti team. As a community, we've been working really hard to improve how social services are delivered in our region. And we're here tonight because we desperately need a technical solution to help us improve the way we collect, present and share evidence that informs good decision making. Tairāwhiti has the highest level of deprivation in Aotearoa. 2/3 of our population is living in material hardship. So that's 33,000 people, 77% of which are Māori. As a country, we spend approximately $49 billion every year on providing social services that are meant to help everyone stay well. However, by the time services are delivered to whānau, many of the really good ideas have become watered down by the inclusion of arbitrary thresholds and criteria. Ironically, these system settings create the very barriers that stop people from flourishing. And then there are whānau who've had bad experiences when they've tried to access support. And now they don't bother accessing services at all. What you see on the screen are just 3 examples out of thousands of examples where whānau have told us what they need support with. Whānau are facing challenges relating to finances, to housing, transport, health, care of children, and many, many other types of challenges. Often whānau are facing multiple challenges all at the same time. But how often do whānau struggle with each of these different types of challenges? And which problems are most serious? And how do communities prioritise which problems to tackle first? Over the last 5 years, Manaaki Tairāwhiti, which is an iwi-led place-based initiative, has brought together iwi, government officials and community providers. We've built a deeper understanding of the complex barriers that prevent government services from really delivering for whānau. We've also been testing more effective joined-up ways of working. We have frontline navigators working within our community, building trusting relationships with whānau and documenting the lived experiences and barriers that are slowing down whānau's progress. Our Manaaki navigators are our community's earpiece, listening, understanding and recording real-life experiences of whānau, because we can't hope to solve social issues if we don't understand them from the perspective of the people who are most affected. We aim to put this good information to use, feeding insights back into system improvement teams and to operational leaders who are ready to take action. But here's our problem. The way we collect data is outdated. It's clunky and not fit for purpose. At first, when we started, we collected our information on post-it notes. And then we graduated to using spreadsheets. What a nightmare. We need to take our work to the next level. And with support from the GovTech Accelerator project and the tech experts we've been working with over the last 12 weeks, we've created urungi. Urungi means to steer or to navigate. That's why urungi is the name of our platform that helps with the collection of data on whānau needs as described by whānau themselves, not by the system. We can then provide aggregated information in a dashboard for local decision makers. Urungi raises up the voices of whānau. Urungi will make our task for navigators gathering this information. Fast and easy. It's as simple as using a messaging app, as simple as texting, and it allows navigators to enter their data on the spot while they're with whānau, reducing administration, duplication, rework, and saving time. Uringi will also automatically generate anonymous aggregated information on whānau needs, providing real-time analysis on the prevalence, frequency, and seriousness of different types of unmet need within our community. This will help decision makers, people just like yourselves, by evidencing the actual performance of our social services system. And at a local level, it provides us with much clearer picture of where to take action for maximum impact. For example, if our aggregated data showed that 15% of all the whānau accessing support from navigators recorded unmet health needs, our PHOs and DHB could see the problem broken down by themes like accessibility, affordability, or enrolment process challenges. And then they could see the reasons why, right down to an individual level. Let me introduce our awesome team. Our Manaki Tairāwhiti team is a combination of people from Manaki Tairāwhiti, MSD and Creative HQ. In the coming months, we will further test and improve Uringi, working alongside our Manaki navigators, and they are working with over 150 families. While our focus is on enabling all whānau in Tairāwhiti to flourish, we are sure that what works well in our community will also work well for other communities around Aotearoa. If you're curious and you'd like to learn more about our work, please hit us up. We'd love to chat with you. Or better still, come and see us in Gisborne. Thank you. Kia ora.
Kia ora. Well, it seems to me as though you're already doing quite a lot of amazing mahi, and I guess it's through the help of some of these lovely, generous people who are actually going to will benefit from the system anyway, ultimately, won't they? So all they're going to do, give you some money, support you, and you can make this even more amazing. Is that basically the plan?
That's the plan.
In a nutshell, that's all they need. So that's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'll get out your way. Okay, so obviously that brings an end to the pictures for today. I think they've all been amazing. They've all been quite diverse and different, but there certainly have been some common themes. And this is where you guys come in. So I just want to see if you have been listening at all. So I'm just going to open the floor just to hear a couple of key themes that you've heard come out today. Just shout them out to me anytime you like, whenever you're ready now. Wellbeing. Sustainability. Collaboration. I like it. So 3. What about innovation? Innovation, what's the other one? Productivity, relationships, tangata whenua, mana atua. Anything else? Okay, well basically we've covered the themes, so that's great. Great pictures. They've really hit home. No, they have. I'm sure they actually have. You just want me to stop talking, which is fair enough. But we're not quite there yet, so it is now my absolute pleasure. We're privileged to have Brent Chalmers from Westpac joining us here today, who is the GovTech program sponsor. This is the first of a 3-year relationship, and obviously the Westpac New Zealand Government Innovation Fund have also sponsored Team Sustainable Supply Chain to participate in the program. Come on up, Brent. We can't wait to hear from you. Enjoy that.
Kia ora, Officer O'Leary. Mana whenua, tēnā koutou, rangatira, tēnā koutou katoa. Kia ora to my fellow fund board members, there are a few of you around, and big kia ora to the fund management team who do a fantastic job for us every day, other than making me do speeches like this. So thank you for the warm applause. Us bankers aren't used to that, so I really appreciate that. It's a real treat. And particularly given this is the compulsory sponsor slot. So I'll try and make it fast and interesting. So firstly, congratulations to the participants. You've done an amazing job. And just to see the journey from start to finish, to see you address some of the really wicked problems and see some of the results today is pretty amazing. Congratulations to the GovTech team. Every year you bring magic to the process and to the teams, and it's really great to see that happen again this year. So some of you may know we have the privilege at Westpac of serving as the Crown Banker, and it's a role we take really seriously, and it's a really special relationship we have with the public sector. And so as part of that relationship, we've committed to an innovation fund, which nicely encapsulated in the words, the Westpac New Zealand Government Innovation Fund, which just kind of rolls off the tongue, I know, but all the right words are there. And anyway, so part of that fund, what we do is really focus on some of the problems and opportunities that we both really care about. From the public sector side and from the Westpac side. And it's a jointly governed fund, and we try to deliver innovation through a few different ways. One is through an intake process, one is through direct collaboration with agencies, and another is through partnerships. And here's a great example of a partnership we have with the GovTech program. Really aligns with our vision and our goals, and just gives a great opportunity for us to amplify the things that we want to achieve through the Innovation Fund. So that's a bit about the partnership. I guess I'd just like to acknowledge Bernie and Johnny and the Creative HQ team for... It's the bell. It's the bell. No fire alarm. It's okay.
Sorry, that was just the parliamentary bell. But I actually do have something else I need to talk to you about. I've just found this lying loose. You can't leave empty, undisclosed packages around Parliament. So I'm just wanting to know if anyone belongs to this or it belongs to anyone. Does anyone lost a red envelope? Sorry, I'm just talking to these. Hang on a minute, please. Has anyone lost a red envelope?
Officer, I've got a clue.
What?
It's a Westpac red.
Does it look like Westpac red? Yes.
Yes, it does.
Is this your envelope?
I think it is.
Well, you've just left it willy-nilly over there, so I brought it over for you. Do you need that now, or I can look after it?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. More about that later. We try to keep things interesting. So anyway, thank you guys. It's been a great partnership, and we've really enjoyed our first year and look forward to the next few years together. Now's the bit where I awkwardly segue into the blatant advert that you can do as the sponsor of the program. So the good news is there's money in it. So this banner of sustainability, as we've seen, a massive broad range of how we think about sustainability, and rightly so. But one of the things we're also jointly interested in is a very specific topic of climate change. It's something we need to tackle, and we need to tackle right now. And as we've seen over the last few weeks, just how important it is and how it's all of our responsibility. We can't rely on the international governors. We can't rely on our own government. It's all our problem to solve. So as the fund, we're very happy to announce our biggest intake ever. The theme is financing and incentivising the decarbonisation of Aotearoa. Again, kind of rolls off the tongue, bit like the name of the Innovation Fund, which we prefer to mysteriously refer to as the fund, by the way. So that's the theme. We'll shorten that to decarbonising Aotearoa. And we've put up a $1 million prize. Okay, it's not a prize. It's an investment pool for that intake process. So a number of you, there's a whole big number of innovators in the room. So we would love you to get involved with this process. You can go to the innovationfund.co.nz, and that's the end of my announcement for this part, and then we'll come to the mystery envelope shortly. Okay. I've been reminded, I heard Simon nagging in the back of my mind, it's an easy application process, so we're not looking for a multi-stage better business case process, okay? It's a canvas and a few other bits and pieces. easy application process. We've also launched a research paper to complement the theme. So please jump on the website, have a look at the report and apply. Okay, so back to business. That was the awkward advert in the middle of my speech. But I'd like to be the first, I think, team in the room to make an investment and announce an investment. So I'm very happy that the board decided this year we'd do a one-off special prize, and we know all of the teams have worked really hard and solving some really challenging problems, and it was a really tough decision to make. We considered, I guess, how much impact our prize could have, because even though it's a big number, it's not, a massive number. And we also just, I guess, look for a team whose problem really resonated with the board. And without further ado, I'd like to announce a $50,000 prize to Manaaki Tairawhiti and NFD. Please come on down. That obviously would have been a cheque in the mail, but those days are over. So what you've got is a letter saying we're going to give you some money.
Can we get a photo of you?
Pardon?
Should we get a photo of you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, a massive thanks to Brent and obviously to Westpac. It was a great ad, but more importantly, what a great prize, and I'm sure that money will be very well used. So congratulations to you guys too. We're now up to our final speaker for the day, who I should have been hassling the whole evening. I missed that opportunity, Johnny, so I could do it now. Have you got any? No, I won't do that. I'll just invite you up to speak to us. You're the head of GovTech at Creative HQ. Please give it up for Johnny Haddon.
All right, we're going to tag team, so Bernie's going to tap in after me, but then we'll let you get on with your lovely evening. So tēnā koutou katoa. Look, innovation in government is not easy, but over the last 4 years we've had 38 project teams come through this program from 23 different government agencies, and they've innovated and collaborated with NGOs, the tech sector, and all of the sort of relative members of the public for these projects, all for the betterment of Aotearoa. Now, there's a scene in Alice in Wonderland where the Queen and Alice are running amidst the chaos, but failing to make any progress. Alice, in confusion, looks to the Queen, and the Queen says, yes, in this world we run as fast as we can just to stay in the same place. Alice replies, well, in our world, when we run fast, we get somewhere. These teams tonight have certainly got somewhere, and they've made such exceptional progress. The teams, their project owners, the executive sponsors have all been brave and willing to step outside the normal paradigm to solve these complex problems. The GovTech program is just one way of doing that, but it is needed. Creativity and innovation is needed for agencies to meet their strategic objectives, to tackle all of the really complex and gnarly issues that we face today. I'm here to do the obligatory thank yous. So thank you so much for all of the support that makes this program happen. The project leads, the executive sponsors, the agencies. The program team, Bernadette Scanlon, Jenny Hamilton, Milu, Finn, Benjamin, also Emily Dwyer, Kira Craig and her team as well. The Creative HQ Sprint coaches, Sally, Colin, Josie, and our CEO, Catherine Jones as well. The communities who have all opened their doors to these teams, and all of you here tonight, thank you so much. Our ambassador for the year, Dr. Ganesh Nana, thank you so much for your wisdom, and the Productivity Commission, Dr. David Clark for our host this evening, and also to David Parker and Damien O'Connor, who, while unfortunately weren't able to be here, they want to hear their respective project teams' presentations, which is great. In 2022, we're going to be running the program with Westpac Innovation Fund, and we're starting that program a little bit early, so please do reach out if you'd like to know a little bit more and how you might be able to get involved. Please do, that'd be great to connect. And then, lastly, I want to pass over to Bernadette Scanlon, our amazing program director, who's been guiding and steering these teams for the past 13 weeks.
Thank you so much, Johnny. Tēnā koutou katoa, talofa lava, and a heartfelt hello to all of you, both within this parliamentary hall, but also to those who are watching online. I apologise in advance, I feel quite emotional after that $50,000 grant, so I just know how impactful it will be to the people of Manaaki Tairāwhiti. Oh, I can't believe I'm doing that. Woohoo! I can't help but reflect how lucky we are that on this demo day we can host it in our House of Parliament, the very place in which decisions that govern our future are made. And how apt. In front of me, I see a collection of some of the most senior public servants and decision makers in our country, all here to support the agencies and to support innovation in the public sector. The solution that these 8 teams have designed, tested, and presented today is just a start. We need all of you to act as champions, to act as ambassadors, to give it the best chance of success over the coming few phases. And whilst all the teams are utilising technology to some degree in their solutions, such as digital catalogues or AI software, it is often not the sole focus. Many of the team's problems discussed today require numerous organisations and agencies within the system to contribute their part for success to be acquired. And I'd just like to applaud all the teams for building some extremely strong, collaborative foundations with key partners. As Dan from the RMA Digital Transformation team mentioned, tech is the easier part. It's these relationships and the ability to hold each other to account, which will ensure the solutions are implemented and sustained. We're also lucky that this event could be held in person at all. As some of you may be aware, the Accelerator commenced on Monday, the 16th of August, and by Tuesday the 17th, the country was in lockdown. I just wanted to recognise all the teams, participants, for being so adaptable, for supporting one another, and as Ginny nicely mentioned, for trusting the process. It's a testament to yourselves and strongly illustrates how motivated you are to create positive impact for New Zealand and your desire to do your bit towards creating a more sustainable Aotearoa. You're now part of the ever-growing GovTech whānau, so continue to leverage off the connections you've made across government and to embed the skills that you have learned into your respective organisations. And I can't wait to showcase how your projects have progressed at next year's Demo Day. On that note, I would love to invite the 2021 GovTech cohort up on stage, along with my own wonderful org team, for one final photo. Give them up for...
Listen here, right here, in my jam, beat the joint, press play on the track. Cause you reach your point, bring your crowd along and sit aside and just simmer. We up in the spot as a light stroke, then the street anthem sound from the local DJ. Play the scissor on your speaker, no delay, equipped to make you bounce with that beat mechanism. We up in the
Come out here, I just want to say sorry to introduce you, Bertie. I mean, you don't need an introduction, okay? And for all of these people, let's give them another round of applause while they get ready for their photo.
party people, let me check your frequency. And let the music take control of your mind, body and soul, body and soul.
Get up and
all night.
Now everybody wanna be joining me, showing individually technique. Yo, every second of the party. M-U-double-L-E-T, prolifically lacking in the constant movement you're consuming. Initialize the verbal styles to mystify your mind. Demonstrate essential element, fundamental rhythms we provide.
So now essential apparatus necessary for these fellas. Broken English is a pattern with sense, speaking to shatter. Tropical zero movement for your action. Ain't no excuses like you said, put your back in.
Atmosphere beginning fatter by the minute. The beat be filling up the room, my body getting to me.
So brothers gotta keep their lines tight tonight. As the sisters unlock your flights, the place starts up at night. What?
Friday night is the
party people, let me
check your frequency.
Down onto the dance floor.
Yeah,
are you with me?
Friday night is the
party people, let me
check your frequency.
And let the music take control of your mind, body and soul, body and soul.
Get up and get
all night.
Now vinyl distraction, focus, mental concentration. This is sort of becomes a hazard to regulation. Not to mention adapt to situation. Materialize on destination. Stand and get a normal density with your eyes. Status and compromise, village identify.
Tonight's the night to let your body unwind. So let loose and eventually let your mind initialize.
Progression of navigation is encapsulated. That you waited so long.
All of your fantasies become reality when they collide. Cause you can't get by the fact that tonight is party night.
Won't let the music catch you off guard. Be vulnerable to the be lady.
Come on, yeah, but what? Yeah, my sounds say cryptic. From crosswords out of a verb, sister from your reverb. In case you never heard, when we rock mics, we tend to rock. Cause when we rock mics, we rock the mic. Tonight, July, and throw your hands high. Cause it's cracking on a Friday when we roll by. Lay your pop, AK taking the worldwide. Say it with me now, M-O-O-L-I. Come on.
Friday night is the
party people, let me
check your frequency.
Down onto
politician, can you make a right decision for all of us?
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. You guys have been an amazing audience. I can't wait to see how you're going to get behind all of these initiatives with your money, with your relationships, with your government things, your departments, your whatever it is, whoever it is you work for. This does bring the formal end of the part of the evening to a close. There is a bar over there. I know that I'm parched, but I'm on duty, so I won't have a drink of anything. Please also remember to give in your lanyards. Okay, it's not sustainable to take them home with you. Okay, you guys, you've had your photo, and I'm still trying to talk. No, but thank you very much for listening, and enjoy a drink, and then get together, have a bit of a network, a bit of a mingle, and have a great rest of the evening. Thank you so much. I've been Officer O'Leary. Secretly, I'm Karen O'Leary. I'm pretty much the same person, but thank you very much. See ya.
You can talk the talk, but will you walk the walk, or will you bring us comfort? Or will you bring us comfort? Politician.